Hey guys, my name is Kim and you are watching me do a book review! Yay! So today we're going to be doing a little bit different, and instead of doing a biography or self-improving types of books or topics, today we are going to be talking about fiction. There's going to be a lot of spoilers here and there, so if you don't want to watch them, don't watch this video at all, please. I'm warning you guys, there's gonna be spoilers, so do not watch this. I finally found this novel that I've been meaning to read and do a review on. For some reason, a lot of libraries don't have this book until now. And that book is ta-da, The Truth and Other Lies by Sasha Arango. I think I said that right. Arango. So before we delve into the book, a little bit, very teensy bit about the author, because I know this is not about the author, it's about the book, but I just want to introduce him. Sasha Arango. He is one of Germany's prominent screenplay writer. It seems like he works a lot of more of the detective, thriller, suspense kind of stories. Actually, this novel is his first and also a bestseller. In summary, The Truth and Other Lies, this novel, it's a short novel. It's about like 241 pages? 241 pages. Somewhat short. I think it's short. Yeah, it's short. Anyway, and it's a very witty, contains thriller, suspense, dark humor. There's so much imagery going on, and that makes the storyline calm. Like suspenseful, but calm. So it's like down leveled, if that makes sense. And I'll explain more. I'm gonna go into like each chapter a little bit more, and you'll see what I mean. So chapter 1, we are quickly introduced by the main character, Henry. It's going to be all about Henry. You're gonna know his thoughts. You're gonna know his goals, his acts, his choices, and I don't really think it's that important, but his history. Interestingly, unfortunately, fortunately, you're gonna love and hate this guy, because that's exactly how I felt. I loved and hate this guy so much. He's a typical normal guy, or I should say criminal, mastermind of all this chaos within this book, or within this novel. And spoiler alert, here it comes. He gets away with everything. The title says it all. The Truth and Other Lies. He tells some truth, but he tells a lot of lies. And it's all because he wants to survive. Maybe survive is not the right word, but he wants to escape this nightmare that he created. So in chapter 1, we are being introduced of Henry and some other major characters here. So one is Henry, the most main character of all, and you will be reading his mind, looking at his actions, and knowing what he's doing, like just everything. He's here, he's there. He's a quote writer, a very famous writer. I'll explain more in detail on that. Betty here is an editor. She's an editor-in-chief at Morini Publishing. I'm gonna say this wrong. Morini Publishing House. Claus Morini, who's the founder of the publishing house. Okay, he's not that major though, so yeah. The third most important person of all, but unfortunately you won't really hear much about her, I think, after the fourth chapter, is Martha, who is Henry's wife. In chapter 1, Henry found out that Betty, she is pregnant with his kid. Great start. Henry is like thinking, oh man, this is such bad news. Like, I'm not sure if I should go through with this. Betty's like, okay, so what do you think? Like, I'm telling you the news that I'm pregnant, and you know, your wife Martha's not gonna like it. So, what now? You know, Henry says this, and this is actually page 2. This literally just started, and it's already, the snowballing is already rolling. The right answer would have been, he actually says this, "My love, this is not going to end well." So he was gonna go and say this to Betty, but instead he says, what? "I'll drive home and tell my wife everything." Guys, even he was surprised. That's how funny it is. I mean, well, to me it is. He says in this page 3, he surprised himself. Why had he said that? So he surprised himself, and he was just not expecting any of this, and I don't know, that's just funny to me. I don't know why. So anyway, the whole time he's like thinking like, yeah, I could be a great man. I could be a good father. I could be a good father figure. I just drive home, talk to my wife, Martha. It's even more funny because here he says, Henry did not want a child. He didn't want a child, and at least of all with Betty. So she may have been just a fling for him, really. And it's just happened. And in the very end of chapter 1, you get to know a little bit more about who Henry is, who Betty is. Anywho, so yeah, you get to know more about them. And at the very end, he says, apart from Henry, only Martha knew that he hadn't written a single word of the novels himself. So there you go. There's the truth. He's supposed to be a best-selling author. His work translated into 20 languages around the world, but he's not. It's all a lie. In chapter 2, Henry, again, this is about Henry. Henry is like, while he's driving, he's thinking about his life and what would have happened if he hadn't met Martha. This chapter is important because this is where he admits that actually he is not the author. He just came along and found out that Martha, his wife, had a talent. She was the one who had the artistic or the writer sense. Martha is the one who is actually the author of the novel that was the best-selling here in this novel. However, and I don't know, like, it's just kind of, I mean, I guess as long as like they coexist together, I guess it could work. I don't know. The relationship is very interesting. It's as if like Martha and Henry made this indirect contract. Her sole purpose, her sole desire is to write. Which, okay, fine, I got it. You know, like there are some people who likes to write things out, who likes to just keep on writing, whatever. Okay, fine. I mean, if that's their hobby, that's their hobby. But it gets interesting. It seems like she loves writing, but she doesn't like to publish them. When Henry saw these manuscripts that she has written, he's like, oh man, this is easy cash. I mean, like, let's publish it. Let's go. Let's do it. I mean, you'll become famous. But Martha didn't want to become that. That's where the contract kind of began. He publishes them as if it's his own, of course with Martha's permission. She's the one who calls it. And so after for some time, that's where the indirect contracts start to develop. Henry sort of became the husband at home, doing the domestic work, clean up the table, clean the bed, I don't know, all sorts of things. And he was actually the first person to tell Martha that she wants to live together with her. She didn't say anything, so he just accepted as a yes. Again, strange, but that's their relationship. So this chapter is just about Henry meeting Martha. I felt like it was too simple, too easy, maybe? I have no idea. But it does seem that Martha has some liking to him. I mean, especially if he started living with her and, you know, they got married. So I think, and I believe they've been married for a very long time too. So like to the point where he knows her schedule. So Henry kept his promise to Martha and introduced himself as the author when he published the first novel, which I think is called Frank Elise. That's what it's called, Frank Elise. I'm just kind of curious what Martha is thinking or was thinking during those times when Henry was going about, signing books and I don't know, just being a famous person. Because it says right here too, like she never accompanied Henry to public appearances. When he went to writers' festivals or public readings, it was always Betty who went with him, and a lot of people took her for his wife. I'm trying to imagine Martha, like she's a very introverted person and who just wants to write. I think that's her characteristic, her personality.